your weekend, bro?
Oh yeah,
Disney. We spoke about it last week.
Yeah, actually I did. It was funny because I said I would never go during this whole thing.
And then we spoke last week about how you were going to go.
And yes.
And you went.
And I went. And it was a good experience. The only downside, obviously, as you know, right now it's currently about 150 degrees during the day here in South Florida. So yeah, it's super hot. I mean, it's just one of those things you're going to deal with. But what sucks is wearing the mask during that heat. It beats you up. But I will tell you, and we've talked about this, and we make jokes about it, going to Publix and dealing with just people in general. I felt much safer there than I ever do going to Publix down the street from my house.
Of course.
And it's not even close. So the procedures and policies and stuff that they have in place and the way they follow everything, it's actually really well. And I remember I showed you video. I mean, it's empty. And when I say it's empty, it's just... There's like nobody there.
That video you sent me, it looked like they called a code red and y'all didn't get the memo.
Yeah, there was nobody there. I was like, holy cow, there's nobody here.
And if it wasn't for the COVID thing and you just had that park like that, you'd be like, this is the best time ever.
Exactly. The only thing that sucks, obviously, wearing the mask, because it's okay for a while, but if it was a cooler time of year, you could be there 12 hours. The problem is, man, we would go when they would open, and they open much later than they normally would. Normally they're open at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And sometimes they even do magic hours where it's even earlier. It's like 7, but they're opening at like 10 in the morning. So and they're closing at like 7 when normally they would close at 11 or 12. So it's a huge difference. But there also was some things inside. I mean, obviously when you first get there, they're checking everybody's temps. Check. I mean, it's like instantaneous though. They're like, you're good. I was like, man, I wonder if somebody would drive all the way here and then they'd be like, you're not good. So you're like, what the?
I get they have to do something. We've spoken about it before. The temperature thing. Do they understand?
I know.
I feel like sometimes it's one of those things, and depending on the company, maybe it is. Depending on the agency, maybe it is. It's something like, you have to do this just to say we did something. Just say we screened somebody.
Agreed. But I will tell you, their procedures changed, and I go a lot, so their procedures were a little bit different as far as the way, usually they have lines. Anyone that doesn't have a bag, you go on this line,
right? And
then they just check you they wand you, whatever, and then this line's for bags. So this one, it was leave your cell phone and everything in your pockets, take anything metal out of the bags, and then put those in those, the plastic trays they slide through, and that's it. And then they go through, and I guess these scanners.
So Joey's like, here's my Glock. Here's
my
Smith.
I mean, I went through. I'm like,
here's my bazooka.
But I'm like, they didn't even check me. What if I had something? So I'm like, man. But whatever. You still have to walk through these detectors. So obviously, if I had something, it would have went off.
Right.
But outside of that, the way they have everything marked off, and man, I mean, it was everywhere. Arrows, bars that say stand here, and everything was 6 feet apart. I mean, it was everywhere. So including all the rides, most of the rides were just literally walk on. Sometimes the lines would look long when they really weren't, because everybody's got to be distant 6 feet, so it would look like, oh man, look how long the line is. You would get there, and as soon as you would start to walk to the next one, you never stopped. You would just wheel in. It would take 5 minutes to get in anything.
Awesome.
So it was good, but like I said, it wore on you a bit with the mask. Some of the quick serve restaurants and stuff were closed. So there was some areas.
You get them big old turkey legs?
No.
Oh, shit, man.
And it was interesting.
That's the whole reason to make the drive.
Yeah, among other things, right? And they wouldn't let you park hop. So you couldn't go, like we would go to one park for half the day and then go. You can't do that.
Shit.
No, you had to go. You went to one park one day and that was it. And then the next day you could go to a different one, but you can't. Because a lot of times you can just hop in your car, drive to another one.
I never got the park hop. I mean... Well, the park hop to me is it's a gimmick kind of, depending, like if you have Aiden is small and he can't go on half the stuff, then yeah, you can do it because you can cut off some of the things. But if you're able to go to everything, that's a money grab because it takes you the whole damn day to go to
right,
to
which
the
is
park.
Also why having annuals doesn't cost you anything. It's part of the annuals.
Yeah.
So we just hop around, and the good thing is it's something that they just started to not too long ago. They opened up they call it the Skyliner, but it's gondolas. So basically, and it's connecting a couple of the parks, meaning Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and then of course once you're at Epcot, then you can get on a monorail and take it to Magic Kingdom. So now you don't have to even get in the car to move. Nice. So you can just hop on one. It takes like 8 minutes to get over there. So if you want to go to a place, because there's times where we've rode up, we want to go to Animal Kingdom, and we just want to ride Everest. The roller coaster.
Yeah.
Literally, would go in there, go to the back, ride this thing, and leave, and just take off and go to another park. I'm not kidding. So
the benefits of an annual.
Well, there you go. But
how are the rides though? Now that you bring that up, as far
that
as
was and that's another thing. I mean,
did they have people close to each other?
When we first got there and we got on the monorail just to get over there, we had an entire car by ourselves. They were like separating everybody and including the rides. So
if you had a ride of like 6 people normally, it would be what, 2?
Yeah. And that's also what sometimes could take time because they can only do so many people. So like a Haunted Mansion. When you go on the Haunted Mansion, everybody knows when you go in there, you go into the main dark room and it closes off and the guy says all that stuff and then you go to the next room. They just left everything wide open. You literally just bypassed all that stuff and went straight to the ride. They had to, they got to make some caveats to things like that. So it was modified. You got no character meet and greets. You would see a character once in a while, but they would be in a car and they'd be waving and drive by. That was it.
Yeah.
You weren't going to get, you're not going to get fireworks at the end of the night. You're not going to get anything that would cause people to congregate. So they're not going to have shows, like any of the stage shows that they do. So it was a lot of stuff missing, but it was still not here. And it was a way to get the fuck away from all this crap.
Yeah.
So it was good.
But overall, you were pleased with the safety measures?
Listen, like I said, I feel more worried when I go to Publix because of the jackasses that go there.
Yeah.
And the way people act and the when they do here. Everybody here at least takes it serious, and they were very serious about the way it was. Not to mention, there was so few people, you weren't near anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from passing somebody, you have these huge gaps.
That's good, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, so it was good.
Now back to reality.
Yeah, well, and then I came back to work.
Yeah.
But it's okay, and obviously we got
back to the road and hurricanes that just missed us, and
that was another thing. We ended up having to come back a day,
a
little bit early. We were gonna come back Saturday morning because we went over on Thursday. We were gonna go Friday and then come back Saturday in the morning. Well, that damn storm, and you never know what the hell they're gonna do. It was like Saturday morning, 8 in the morning. We could start feeling effects, and it was supposed to rake right up the coast. So I'm like, well, fuck, I don't want to be driving in this all the way down.
That's right.
Like just dealing with wind and rain the whole way.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? We'll just screw it. We'll head back home about 5 o'clock. We're like, screw it. Let's just let the hotel know what's going on. We can get a refund because clearly there is a hurricane.
Yeah.
We'll just come back home. So we came back home and nothing fucking happened.
Yeah.
So